So Russell, this is quite a sobering report card for Silicon Valley.
We've been doing this since 1995. And the index has told Silicon Valley's story, which is lots of booms and busts, and we cycle. This is all normal. But what seems different this time is that there may be some underlying structural things happening to our economy. And so we're seeing some of our indicators that used to be, fabulous, flaring signs of our health go south on us. Yeah, it's a very somber report.
And how serious are these threats to Silicon Valley's global competitiveness?
Well, let me put it this way. We have job losses in our region. We're facing all kinds of retrenchment, and there's a lot of pain and duress. No question about that. And it's manifesting itself in standard things like unemployment and job losses and income, falls in income levels, housing foreclosures. So all of that is happening. But what is perhaps more concern is the fact that our traditional indicators that measure innovation, the innovative nature of our economy, those are also squeezed. Because remember, every time we've ever had a bust in Silicon Valley, people have said, but don't worry, we're an innovative economy and people are out in their garages right now, they're inventing the next Google or the next Yahoo. Well, when we look at the key factors of innovation, those are down. Venture capital, down. Patent generation, down. Influx of foreign talent, also down. Federal spending on basic research and procurement in our region, also down. So this is all bad news. The reason the conference today is to talk about what it means, and if we need an overarching strategy. We may need more than just firing up the engine. We may need to overhaul the engine. That's what we're talking about.
What are people's reactions today about what needs to be done?
Well, I think people have two kinds of reactions. One is to say, oh my goodness, this really is serious. The second kind of reaction is to say, and yet we're Silicon Valley, we can organize, we can be strategic, we can come together across all of these different sectors and address our challenges. Now, I'll tell you, there's one particular problem, which is some of our challenges are not right here. They're in other places. It's the federal government, it's our state government. Our state government is not serving us right now. It's not providing the kind of infrastructure that needs to be in place for an innovation economy like ours to thrive. And so this is going to be hard, but it's going to be especially hard because we have to fix things that are external. That's the tenor of our conference.
You know, some of these challenges have been in place for a while now. Why the sense of urgency right now?
It's true. This has been a long time coming. 2 years ago, we pointed out that there were some pretty fierce winds blowing and that our region was about to be overwhelmed. Last year, we documented the fact that, yes, our region had entered into a recessionary phase. This year, we're saying this recession might be really hard to get out of. And when it's over, we may not just naturally resume our place as the world's epicenter of innovation. So for that reason, people are alarmed. It feels like we need to act differently. We need to organize differently. We have different kinds of competitors now, these young upcoming regions, Hsinchu, Taiwan, and Shanghai, and Beijing, and Bangalore, India, Israel, Ireland, Eastern Europe. These are all lean, hungry, dynamic economies. They're aggressive, they're ambitious, and they have a different cost structure than we do. And so this is going to be harder, no question about it. It's going to be a harder game for us to play.
Some of these emerging global tech hubs that you mentioned, they're getting a lot of funding and investments from their own governments at a time when California isn't investing.
I've recently been to China. I was in the city of Shenzhen, an amazing, gleaming city. It was built in 20 years. In China, if you need infrastructure, boom, they just put it in place. It happens like overnight, it would seem. California, it seems like we just can't get our stuff done. The infrastructure is crumbling. We're still talking about it. We're running chronic deficits, structural deficits now exceeding $20 billion. We can't do basic decision making. We're not passing budgets on time. We have no hope of a long-term strategic investment program. So none of these things are in place. If we don't fix that, then Silicon Valley's chances go down.
The index this year shows that a lot of Silicon Valley residents are struggling. How do we help them? How do we make this a more attractive place to live?
Well, our own communities need to be doing all the right things, which is providing wonderful parks and recreation and housing amenities and housing located close to transit. and a permitting system that facilitates and encourages business and business formation. So our communities have to do that. Our state government needs to get its act together so that we're investing in the big stuff: infrastructure, transportation infrastructure, water infrastructure, workforce development programs, community colleges, the high-end research in the big research institutions. All of that has to be in place. We have a lot of work to do.
Do you think lawmakers in Sacramento and D.C. understand the challenges facing Silicon Valley?
Well, as it happens, we will have candidates for the statewide offices on our stage this afternoon, and we will be asking them those very questions. These are very bright, intelligent people. They understand the problems, the challenges, the magnitude of the difficulty that we face right now. What they don't seem to have are the tools to make basic decisions to overcome partisan divides and ideological gridlock. It's the opinion of our organization that we actually need to reset California, that a constitutional convention would be a very good idea, that we need to ratchet up the bar for initiatives and referendums, and we need to make it a lot easier for the people that represent us to make these difficult decisions and these difficult trade-offs.
What are you hearing about what leaders here want Silicon Valley to look like in 5 years?
They want it to be vibrant. They want it to be competitive. They want it to be the place that continues to invent the future. They want it to be a wonderful place to build families and to grow businesses and to take your family to the park. I mean, this is the kind of community that we need to be. It takes money, it takes planning, it takes strategy. All of that has to happen.